regular meeting, we will have our, as required by law, our truth and taxation public hearing. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Here.
Trustee Willis.
Here.
Trustee Heiferman.
Here.
Trustee Mason.
Here.
Trustee Roman.
Here.
Mayor Hofield.
Here. Our presentation will be done by our finance director, Amy Zatowski.
Good evening. Happy holidays. So staff initially discussed the 2025 real estate tax levy with the board at our last meeting on November 25th, and a notice was published in the Southtown newspaper for tonight's hearing on December 2nd. Oops. So during our board discussion at the last meeting, 2.9% increase in the CPI, as well as a 0.5% increase for new construction was proposed for the portion of the tax levy that falls under the property tax extension limitation law, also known as PTEL. The 2025 levy under PTEL is approximately $7.2 million, which is an increase of just $237,000 over the prior year final expended levy. The $7.2 million is allocated between the cost of providing municipal operations and meeting our pension obligations. The top row shows the approximately $4.5 million of which is allocated towards all pension obligations, so police, fire, pension, and IMRF. The village is required to fund the police and fire pension funds at the statutory minimum, and which will help to get both funds to the mandated 90% of funded amount by 2040. The remaining amount goes to all of the other operational items, which it also includes the cost of employer taxes. So listed here is all the line items that Homewood levies for under PTEL. Within these, there's corporate, fire protection, police protection, street and bridge, the auditing, liability insurance. All of most of those are set based on a set rate by the state, meaning the village is limited in what we can levy for those items, but the auditing and liability insurance lines have no rate limit. We are allowed to levy for whatever is a sufficient amount to cover our actual expenses for those. So looking at risk management insurance, that accounts for over $1.2 million of the levy, which leaves just over $1 million in the general fund for operations. Now, for some context, the total village general fund budget is about $27.7 million. So this $1 million is just a very, very small dent of the revenue that comes into the general fund. So as we state many times, sales tax is and will continue to be the village's top revenue stream. So while property taxes help, that's not really what's funding our day-to-day operations here at the village. And then falling under the 7.2 tax cap levy, we are allowed to levy for debt service. So in 2024, we issued a $2.6 million bond. So we are allowed to place on the levy the amount that we need to cover the principal and interest payments for that bond issuance. So this will appear on this levy and 2 more levies after this. So our final total 2025 levy is just under $8 million. And just as a reminder, the Village of Homewood's portion of your total tax bill is just 11%. So for every 11 cents out of every dollar that you pay on your property tax bill comes back to the village. And that's what the the taxpayers are contributing to get the high quality of services and amenities that the village offers. I'm happy to take any questions from the board.
Sure. Public comments. Anyone have any comments or questions? If not, board comments, Trustee Harris Jones.
Thank you, Amy, always for your presentation. Very informative.
Trustee Willis.
Thanks, much appreciated.
Trustee Heiferman.
Yeah, I have no comments.
Trustee Mason.
Just thank you for all the hard work you put into this. Appreciate it.
Trustee Roman.
Thank you. I've actually had a few conversations about this since our last meeting, and everybody just seems to get it.
Yeah.
That this is a small portion of their property taxes, but it contributes a lot to our village. So, but thank you for your presentation.
Absolutely.
And we had a more in-depth conversation about this at our last meeting. Again, thank you. This is what's required by statute.
Yep.
With that, may I have a motion to adjourn the truth and taxation hearing, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Hyperman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Aye. Trustee Hyperman. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
We stand adjourned from the Truth and Taxation hearing, and we'll begin our village board meeting of December 9th. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Torres.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Here.
Trustee Willis.
Here.
Trustee Hyperman. Here. Trustee Mason.
Here.
Trustee Roman.
Here.
Mayor Holdfeld.
Here, representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager Napoleon Haney, to my right, our village attorney Chris Cummings. To the audience's right, wearing a Santa hat, is our police chief Denise McGrath, fire chief Bob Grabowski, finance director Amy Zukowski, economic and community development director Angela Maceras, public works director Josh Berman, assistant village manager Terrence Aqua, and in the audience just back from a flight from Boston is our assistant community development and economic development director Noah Schumer. That's a mouthful. The minutes of November 25th. Any additions or corrections? Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Willis.
I'm not.
Trustee Hyperman. Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman. May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by trustee Willis, seconded by trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $795,702.48. Comments or questions? Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Willis. Trustee Hyperman.
No questions.
Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman.
Nothing.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Claims list is approved. Of that almost $800,000 claims list, 3 items comprise the majority of that list. 1 month's employees' health insurance was $290,000. Curb and sidewalk replacement, $117,000, and various public building roof replacements were $130,000. That amounted to $537,000, or 68% of that claims list. A presentation by Economic Development Director Angela Maceras with regard to proposals received in request to the RFP to develop the Village Hall parking lot and the Matrix building.
I'm not gonna repeat our titles because I know it's a mouthful, but Noah and I are going to present to you tonight the responses to a request for proposals that we put out for 2 sites in our downtown area. One of them, the Village Hall parking lot at 2024 Chestnut, and the other one, 2066 Ridge Road, which is at the corner of Ridge and Harwood. It's a white building we call the Matrix Building. So we received 6 responses to these proposals, and the response deadline was November 21st. Noah will, after I present briefly each one, Noah will tell you the next steps in our process. Hopefully I can do this. Oops. So as I said, we had 8 weeks for proposals. We received 6. They were required to provide qualifications, project information, a site plan, and some renderings, and a pro forma and financial statements. We plan to get more detailed information and present that to you at a later date. These are the 2 sites, as I said, 2066 Ridge Road, which is about a little less than half an acre, and it's zone B1, which is our commercial core district, which requires retail or a restaurant on the first floor. And then the other site is our Village Hall parking lot, which is actually in a different zoning district. It's in our downtown transition district. The first that we received was one of our original proposals from the HCF Homewood, who is the
developer of the Hartford building. This is for 64 apartments. It is only for the Village Hall site, and it's a 4-story building with ground floor interior parking. Second proposal is from Granite Realty Partners, who has partnered with a REIT design studio. This is for 78 units in a 4-story building with a platform. The project would be built on a platform with over 100 parking spaces. The parking spaces would be for both residents, employees of the building, and visitors to Village Hall. Third was a partnership with Southland Development Authority, partnering with Edward Peck Design and Kaufman Jacobs Development. This proposal was for both sites. 85 market rate apartments in a 6-story building with 2,000 square feet of commercial space, a plaza and surface parking at the Village Hall parking lot. And for the Matrix building, they were proposing 22 apartments in a 5-story building with a little larger 2,400 square foot commercial space and outdoor plaza as well. The outdoor plaza would be between what's now the Matrix building and the building to the east, the one that has blue pearl candles in it. The fourth is from Holiday Properties. This is also for both sites. This is 118 rental units in a 5-story building with 2,000 square feet of commercial space on the Village Hall parking lot and outdoor plaza and underground and ground level parking both. Their parking ratio is 1.2, which meets our parking requirements. And they would also look into, in the future, acquiring the Matrix building site and assembling parcels to construct a future more retail forward mixed use project. That would be phase 2. The fifth was a very different proposal. It was from some larger than life foundation with funding through DCEO. And this is for 20 to 30 workforce accessible apartments, a culinary training institute, mental wellness education center, as well as commercial spaces. The commercial spaces would be related to the Culinary Training Institute. And then on the Matrix site, they would have an additional facility that would be classrooms also supporting culinary training with another retail space. The final proposal was from the Far South CDC, Community Development Corporation, for 72 apartments, 4-story building with this proposal had the most commercial of any of them. This had a 41 square foot restaurant on the first floor of the Village Hall site and 10,000 square feet of additional commercial with 2 public courtyards and plazas, and then 39 apartments with a rooftop restaurant of 3,300 square feet and 7,000 square feet on the first floor with surface parking. This one had the least parking of any of them and the most commercial. So those were our 6 projects, and Noah will discuss our next steps.
So this is just to give you a very preliminary look at the proposals that we received. We were really impressed with the quality of the proposals that we received. It's clear that people have a lot of interest in Homewood. There's a lot of increasing development interest in being a part of the story that we're writing in Homewood. After this preliminary introduction, we'll do a preliminary review. So we'll schedule an interview with each of these proposals and we'll complete a preliminary review. We'll generally look at zoning, some of the basic requirements that were included in the proposal documents or the RFP documents that were put out to for developers to respond to. And we will come forward then on January 13, our next board meeting, with a list of those proposals that we would move forward that met those minimum requirements. That at that time staff would request the opening of a formal solicitation of alternate proposals, which is required for any proposal within a TIF district. And then we would keep that solicitation period open for several weeks while we also completed the full review of the proposals. And that was look similar to some of the other reviews you've seen this year for projects such as Park West Plaza and other projects where we've done in-depth analysis of proposals that we receive. And then ultimately on February 10th, you would receive two kind of main hearing items. One is the TIF district hearing itself to consider the full redevelopment plan and everything going into the Harwood TOD TIF. And then following that at the regular hearing, a recommendation for one or more of the proposals that we've received to move forward with to continue entitlements, negotiations, and ultimately coming to agreements with the village. So that's just a brief outline of the timeline, and we can take questions from the board.
Sure. I think this speaks well of the Village of Homewood. 6 bids on this particular site, and both sites, I should say. It was all started with the Hartford building. We went through that, and that really led the way for some of this other development to occur. So my compliments to you preparing the RFP, and also much success in the review process, and keep us apprised of it.
Thank you.
Any board comments?
Yes, Chair, really impressed. Thank you.
Thanks for presenting an organized process. It's all concise and very professional. Thank you very much.
Trustee Mason.
Yeah, I'm really excited that we got 6 really strong bids like that. It speaks so well of the interest in our town. And I think we've used our TIFs really well, and we're seeing some of the fruits of that. So this is great. I look forward to the process.
Trustee Roan.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. Thank you guys very much. I've also been pretty vocal about my how I disagreed with the initial plan for the Village Hall parking lot. But I don't hate all of these. There's some exciting things here. And I'm excited to learn more about each individual project and what you guys learn from your meetings. So I think, and I'll echo it, I think this speaks volumes for what's been going on in our community. So, and that's a lot of what you guys have done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Mr. Rymack.
Had I known I have a really tacky suit coat, I would have been happy to wear that. If I made it public, that would have been great. I guess there's 2 reasons why I'm up here. One is as the chair of the Appearance Commission, to piggyback off of what we just saw. One of the things that I had said to our commission this past week at our meeting was I've had the privilege of being on the commission for a decade and a half. And these last 2 years, I've never seen so many meetings. We have been busy. My first year and a half, I think the first meeting was 6 months after I was sworn in, and we had occasional meetings. Now we're meeting all the time. So Community and Economic Development Department, they're doing a fantastic job. We really appreciate that. Mr. President, you bring people to this village and you continue to do that. It's very obvious with all this development that's coming in here. So kudos. I mean, it's terrific. Everybody's doing a terrific job. It's nice to see that in Homewood. The other reason I'm here is, if you recall, back on October 14th, I was here talking about 183rd Street. I live in the 1700 block of 183rd Street, and one of those speed gambling thingies was put up in my house. Back then, I had said that, if you recall, I've never seen so many taillights in my life on that street. Since then, and one of the things I said is, I certainly hope that's not background noise and people get used to it. I hope they don't. I've noticed that one of those radar things is gone. I think must have been an accident.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is things are slowly getting back to the way they were. Speeds have picked up. I'm retired. I'm there. I see it all day long. Speeds have picked up. It's getting faster on 183rd Street. It's just, some people still slow down when they see that, because it's intimidating when you see that. But it's just not working as well as I had hoped it would. And the other thing I've noticed since I'm there, and I've lived there for a long time, is and it's no indictment on anybody, but it's an apparent decrease in enforcement. One of the things for years and years and years, there's something about the couple blocks in front of my house where people are pulled over all the time. Like, I would literally would see somebody once every other day, sometimes more than that. Since October 14th, I've observed one person get pulled over, one. So I don't attribute that to decreased speeds, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's just enforcement has decreased in general. I'm not trying to point a finger. I'm just saying what I've noticed. It would be nice to see that increase. Maybe police department has moved it to some other part of the village, where they're doing more enforcement. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason, but it's not like it used to be. And so I just wanted to share that. I said I'd come back and share what I see. So it's what I'm observing.
Thanks for the observations, and we'll get periodic reports from our village manager as things proceed.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's me again, Jackie Riffus from Flossmoor. With some news about our community book club called Books Without Borders. Our November meeting hosted 20-some individuals to talk about the book we selected, which was called Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You. While not a history book, this was quite a history lesson, written in a fast-paced and conversational tone. The authors connected the past to the present and introduced us to a part of history that we were never taught. While listening to the conversations in the room, and this was held at Beyond Borders Cafe in downtown Flossmoor, there were a few things I was able to glean from the many different conversations. The first one was racism creates unequal outcomes between racial groups. The second one was racism adapts over time. The powerful and privileged find different ways to keep their piece of the pie really big. These days, it's voter suppression and disassembling security nets for middle class and poor Americans, and that's just to name two. And then finally, our silence empowers bigots and haters and gives them permission to keep at it. Someone actually suggested that this book, Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, would be a great add to our high school for discussion. But at this group, once again, the care and compassion that folks shared with strangers, to me, was nothing short of remarkable. When I was here last time, we talked about what I called the choir and the curious, those who get the game and those who want to know more. Well, one trio, who are the curious, told me there's just too much to talk about, so they've started to meet weekly to discuss the book and other things. Imagine the safe space we're starting to create to listen and learn and to be better. So what's next? Our next book is Cast. Anybody here read it? By Isabel Wilkerson. And it's going to be on January 27th, which is a Tuesday, at the Flossmoor Library from 6:45 to 8 o'clock. While not an intimate gathering place, it's a larger place, and we seem to be running out of room, which is really a good problem to have. Author Wilkerson argues that the United States Foundation is built on an unspoken hierarchical caste system that ranks people based on perceived race, much like those in India and in Nazi Germany. She explains how this structure created a society where certain groups are systematically assigned a lower value and others a higher one. It's an excellent deep dive that brings clarity to how we got where we are. The book is 31 chapters. It's not an easy read, but it's a great read. Best shared with friends who can help you unpack the complexities of race. But if the book proves too daunting, I've offered the group a shortcut to watch a film named Origin. It's about the circumstances that brought Isabel Wilkerson to write the book.
Ma'am,
And it's,
we did wrap it up, please.
pardon
Your
me,
time is up.
my time is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, good. Just wrap
Thank
it
you.
up,
Thanks
please.
for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Good evening, Amy Crump, Homewood, Illinois.
I want to start off by saying thanks for the Holiday Lights Cup Sale last Saturday. I was able to get a couple, or one of the cups I was looking for. And if anybody has 2014 or 2015, let me know, because I'm looking for those. It was great. All right, moving on. Once again, recent headlines have bumped the usual book reading that I've been doing to a second spot. And unlike last meeting, rather than reading someone else's words, I'm going to share mine. So I'd like to start with a quote from Jane Austen, who is having her, well, I guess we're having her 25th anniversary of her birth next week. Jane Austen wrote, "At the bottom of propriety is concern for other people. When that goes out the window, the gates of hell are shortly opened and ignorance is king." So last week, we learned that Trump's Department of Justice has removed protections for abuse and rape. Yes, I said rape of LGBTQ people in prison. Last week, we learned that Trump's CDC has removed the requirements for newborns to receive the hepatitis B vaccine, based in part on a study that showed that 59% of estimated hepatitis B cases in pregnant women were in non-US born people. Last week, we learned that Trump quietly released the 2025 National Security Strategy of the US on a Friday night. This document sets the standard for a country's interactions with the rest of the world, and it is usually released with great fanfare. However, that's not what they did this time. Every agency, general, and diplomat is expected to follow this document. The United States has officially broken with Europe, reviving the Monroe Doctrine from 200 years ago that says that the Western Hemisphere belongs to the US to control and exploit as Trump desires. It goes on to identify almost everyone who isn't rich, male, or white as a constitutional threat. Please read the document. I'm not making this up. It is evident that the administration's primary goal is to kill all of its opponents. Welcome to hell, Jane.
Thank you. Reverend Landry.
Good evening, for the record, DOYLELANDRY. And I've been waiting for this moment since Saturday night. If I can take a page from this painting. This is the Monday, December 8th edition of USA Today. And reading directly, Indiana hadn't beaten Ohio State since 1988, a span of 32 consecutive games without a win. One game was a tie.
May I ask why you might be reading that?
Because you have a Village of Homewood employee who's quick to say it doesn't matter. But for tonight, it does. So as I shared previously before you arrived, Mayor Hopefield, that for tonight, we are not allowed to say the name Fernando or Mendoza. Right? And at the end of the day, with regard to humor, in this time and age, in this time and space, please remember, if I could ship hope, this is yours.
By the way, this rock was Ohio State. That's
So, in this time and age, as I shared with Trustee Vivian and others before meeting officially began, this is the holiday season, and for a lot of young people who everything is a screen, if we can take the time to listen and remember what it's like to be that age again and have dreams, hopes, goals, and aspirations, because that's what matters most. Along those lines, I was really impressed, Mayor Hopefield, last meeting with the 23-year-old woman business owner. In terms of, as I was sharing with trustee Roman earlier, that we're gonna look back on her growing and feeling like Homewood belongs to her. So if I can meld what I've been saying for the last year about a incubator in Homewood for that age group, 18 to 22, for them to come together with their business ideas, thoughts, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, like attracts like. Meaning, eventually those who are on the balance theme of, do I go negative or positive? The more positive business owners that they see in their age group here at Homewood benefits us all. So coming full circle, in terms of important dates, since I was informed by the Honorable Village Manager, my fellow Lorraine, that there's no meeting on the 23rd. A national holiday in his mind is the 30th of December. And ask him what that is.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Yeah. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? If not, beyond those vote, Ms. Flores.
We ask the board to consider a motion to pass, approve, authorize, accept, or award the following items. Pass resolution R 3243, congratulating Joseph Mancini for 24 years of service to the Village of Homewood. Pass ordinance M 2387, amending the table of the number of liquor license limitations by class increase the allowed number of class 12B, bring your own liquor license by one for Blue Pearl Candle Company located at 2050 Ridge Road, subject to an approved background check. Authorize the village president to enter into redevelopment agreement to reimburse eligible expenses for improvements to the building at 1961 Ridge Road for the interior build-out required for a business expansion and commercial kitchen. The incentive shall be limited to 50% of the commercial kitchen build-out cost in an amount not to exceed $37,500 and 100% of the cost to install a grease trap in an amount not to exceed $10,000. Waive competitive bidding due to participation in cooperative purchasing program and approve the purchase of one Ford Utility Inceptor from Curry Motors Fleet of Frankfurt through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative in the amount of $45,321 and additional equipment upfitting cost of $9,500 for a total of $54,821. Pass resolution R 3244, electing to increase the village's deductible amount with IRMA from $10,000 to $50,000 in order to assist in strengthening internal claims and risk management to reduce losses and lessen the disappropriate share of losses that the IRMA pool has subsided over the last 10 years. We ask the board to approve a budget amendment to reallocate $396,000 of general capital funds, 2024 general obligation bond proceeds, and water sewer capital funds to the following capital projects: IT switches upgrade, Shays Park Drive culvert engineering, railroad platform rehabilitation, fire department kitchen remodel, fire department life and safety equipment, additional crosswalk design, and 6 additional speed radar signs and poles, and HVAC upgrades at water plant number 1. Pass ordinance M 2388, approving the allocation of $1,602,984 in general fund reserve funds to the police and fire pension funds. This employer contribution to be paid over a 3-year period will resolve a debt owed to the pension funds created by shortfalls in Homewood's property tax collection over the past decade. Award the 2026 lead service line replacement construction to Trine Construction, the lowest responsible bidder, for an amount not to exceed $2,339, contingent upon the approval from the IEPA. Pass ordinance M 2389, levying taxes for corporate purposes and for special funds for the fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2026 and ending on the 13th day of April 2027 for the Village of Homewood. Pass ordinance M 2390, increasing the 2025 street and bridge tax levy in the Village of Homewood and to pass ordinance M 2391, directing the Cook County Clerk to reduce the Village of Homewood's 2025 levy, if necessary, to comply with the property tax extension limitation law.
Thank you. Your voice held out through it. We appreciate it. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience with regard to these matters?
I saw their $10,000 reimbursement to Copperstone for a grease trap, is that correct?
Correct.
Any other businesses?
Absolutely. We've done more so. That's for grease traps, that's a reasonable amount. Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm doing my math right, and I'm a librarian, not an advocate. And when I was reading the packet, it says that the 50% of the kitchen build out cost is actually going to be given to them in 3 years of
For eating.
tax break for the eating tax, right?
Rebate.
Rebate for
Correct.
the eating tax. And so that 37.5 is not, you're not just handing it over to them, it's just gonna be over 3 years.
What's generated?
And then, so in order to get a return on your investment, that would be 6 years later, you will have gotten that money back. Am I doing my math? Okay, all right. And then I also was like curious as to who else has received the 100% for grease traps previously from the village. Can you give me an example?
Oh, yes, quite a few.
I hope I can remember. It's pretty common that we give. Actually, this grease trap, $10,000 is very little amount for a grease trap because they have to do this one inside. They can't fit it in the back, but businesses we've given this to were empanadas is one. Trying to think of.
Hibbing building.
Hmm?
Hibbing building.
The Hibbing building.
The donut place is soon to open.
Part of it is because the grease trap is through Thorn Creek, it's more stringent standards than restaurants would be required to do in other communities outside of Thorn Creek. So.
And I have one other question.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
It's about the budget amendment. The exit, where did it go? The reallocation of the
Wait a minute.
capital, no, wait. Where did it go? Yeah, F, all right, so it was great to read the packet and see, and I mean, you listed it here, the places that you're going to use those funds, because as the packet explained, there was some projects didn't cost as much as you thought, and so you actually have some money. But I'm just curious as to why none of it is going to the lead pipe sewer huge project.
So the lead pipe, separate, water and sewer, separate, budgeting type accounting.
Okay.
Different funds.
Different fund.
Correct.
Water sewer capital is separate from where.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay. With regard to some of these items, I'd like to pay particular attention. I made the retirement of Joe Mancini from Public Works. This is a gentleman who always had a smile on his face. He's been with us for 24 years, and I'm sorry he's not here this evening, but please convey our very best wishes to him. He's a terrific guy. We'll miss him. Comments or questions, Trustee Harris Jones?
No comments.
Trustee Willis?
No.
Trustee Heiferman?
Not to diminish the importance of other topics, but I'm gonna, other items on this, for the omnibus vote, I'm gonna comment on a couple of them. One, item B, the liquor license review for a candle company. I drive by frequently, and it's so nice to see that they have a packed house, often people having candle events. And it really seems to be successful. So I'm really happy to see that. And I'm glad we're able to help them along as well. Item D, regarding the Ford Utility Interceptor. I think it's also important once in a while to explain why we just don't go to Homewood Ford. Why do we purchase from Curry Motors through the cooperative.
So, yeah, so we have purchased some vehicles recently from Ford of Homewood. The problem, one of the challenges is Ford of Homewood does not do any type of police type interceptor vehicles. They won't, that's an entirely different world of build out and agreement with Ford. They do not do police vehicles. So any other vehicles we have, we typically reach out to them and ask them for a bid. If that bid is within like, I think it's $1,000 or so, we will go with Ford. Even if it's higher, we will go with Ford. So we have purchased a few vehicles recently.
The main reason we go through the cooperative purchasing, so periodically that co-op opens up. Any Ford dealer can bid on that, to be the account holder for that period of time in the state. We could go to Steve and say, hey, we'd like to order 6 used interceptors. He'd be doing exactly what we're doing, and then there's potential for the markup for their time in doing that. So when we have opportunities like this, where our staff can go on there, place an order, there's a savings. We're maximizing that.
Thank you. I think it's good to get that out there.
Absolutely.
Trustee Mason. Trustee Roman.
Thanks, Barry.
And one last item, item G, we should call to your attention once again, as Ms. Zakowski had talked about in Truth and Taxation hearing, our pension costs. This is a shortfall. This is to make up the shortfall because of the shortfall in property tax collections over a period of time. And we are making up of approximately $1.6 million over the next 3 years to fund the fire and police pension funds wholly. So again, should be noted that $534,000 a year that we're going to be allocating to fire and pension funds. With all that being said, may I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Mason, seconded by Trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. General board discussion, Trustee Harris Jones.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and have a happy holiday. And I also want to comment on holiday lights. It was very chilly and frigid out, but it was wonderful just to see all of the families, the residents just coming out and gathering. Fantastic. Santa was there and the tree lighting was excellent.
Trustee Willis.
I agree with Vivian. Holiday Lights was a great time. That mulled wine was surprisingly strong. And I'm glad my husband was driving that night. I hope everybody enjoys their holiday and have a safe and happy New Year.
Trustee Hyperman.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, do it safely, and Happy New Year.
Trustee Mason.
This past Saturday, the indoor market, man, it was really great. It was really nice, and it's really good to see. It's kind of the synergy that's being built from the improvements to our farmers market. With such a variety of vendors inside. I went in to get like one thing. I had to take the first batch of bags out and come back. So, looking forward to more of those. And I think that, I think now we have a list of vendors that are trying to get into our Homewood event. So that's great. So please support those. Stay safe. Have a great time during the holidays. Enjoy your family and friends. And let's be watchful, be careful when we see you in January.
Trustee Roman.
I just echo everything that's been said. Happy holidays, happy new year. See you all next year.
Well, we wish everyone a happy holiday, but that's kind of bittersweet one for us here in the village because this is Chief McGrath's last meeting as police chief. Chief McGrath will be retiring in early January prior to our next board meeting. Very smart on your part. And we will be honoring you at a later time, but we thank you for everything. So thank you. Did you want a speech now or later? Did you want the speech now or later? Much later.
The next board meeting.
With that, may I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss employment of a specific employee or employees?
So moved.
Thank you.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
We'll take a short recess. Thank you all for being here.